All right, guys. Um, Today we're gonna talk about planning a night. As far as DJ wise, like how the flow of the music works best at a club. We'll talk a little bit maybe more about the events and stuff too. But we're gonna talk about like club DJing, like if you were DJing at at a club in Hollywood or club in the OC, or even those bars that are kind of club slash bar. They have a cool like lighting system, but it's kind of more like a bar or something, kind of like yeah, yeah, exactly, like those kind of places. um and the way that I'm gonna talk about it is like if we start around like 9, 10 p.m. and going all the way until 2 a.m. Um, this like philosophy that I have, for the most part, I think it's like industry standard, but it could always depend on the owner, the vibe of the club, um, the guests, you know what I mean, or just even you as a DJ and stuff. But I think this format is good, and this is the kind of format that I've like noticed for the most part. But at the same time, there's also, you got to keep in mind that as a DJ, you're supposed to be attentive to the guests and your clients, and make sure you adapt to any certain situation, right? So starting at 9 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, what I call these DJs are openers. And what I think, to my philosophy, an opener is supposed to set the vibe of the people that are coming in to get ready to party for the night, get them kind of out of that work mode, and slowly start transitioning into party mode. You know what I'm saying? So coming, say this, it's a Friday night, they're coming from work, they get off at 5, they get home at 6, they make their food, they do what they got to do at home, girls start getting ready, you know what I mean, shower, everything, they get out, they meet up with their friends, and they're pulling up to the bar or the club around 9 or 10 o'clock. What they've been listening to all day is mainly like the radio stuff, all that, like the pop music that radio's pushing and all that stuff, and there's party music in there. But what I feel is a good transition is when you're giving them like some of those like pop style hits that are not so much parties, like hard drinking stuff, or bass and stuff, more something that's in between that. So like those bangers that girls like to kind of sing to, kind of like "Don't Tell 'Em" by Jeremiah, or like "Post to Be" by Janae Aiko. Those that kind of music that has like an upbeat flow, but it's still kind of just like chill. All it kind of does is like make you want to groove a little bit and say like, okay, something's gonna happen tonight. Like we're about to turn up. You know what I'm saying? That's from like about 9 to 10. Usually, no, I mean from 9 to 11. From 9 to 10, you could kind of play with it. Usually there's not that many people showing up at that time. What I've seen is they usually show up between 10 and like 11:30. So from 9 to 10, um, and there's also like people still probably leaving from, if there's like a restaurant during the day at that club or whatever, there's people leaving or something. They're having their dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you keep it more chill. You know what I mean? Play like the stuff that's on the radio, like the Bruno Mars type stuff, or anything that's still kind of more family friendly, like not even really stuff that has those insinuations, like bad stuff, because there's still family there could be, you know what I'm saying? So 9 to 10 is an hour that you could kind of like play with a little bit. You can maybe even play some like old school jams, anything like that. From 10 to 11, that's mainly like, to me, the opening hour. That's when you start kind of picking it up, start giving them those good vibes, getting ready to party for the night. Okay. And then from 11 to 12, this is what I call like the support set. Here's where you kind of really start cranking it to like the party music. But what I do in this hour is I'll stick to the party hits, but that are a little bit older, like stuff that was, so depending on the time. Right now it's 2020, right? So I'll probably play hits that were hitting like in 2012, 2013, 2014. um Kind of like the ratchet stuff a little bit. We'll see, depending if it's like a hip hop or a Latin night. But just think of like older hits, not the new stuff, but stuff that people are familiar with, and that's gonna make them want to go drink. You know what I mean? When you hear like, say, like Ven Bailalo I think it's by Chrissy Angel. Like, that kind of stuff is like those are hits, but you're not gonna burn yourself if you're the headlining DJ too, or you're not gonna burn the headlining DJ. So this is assuming you're DJing the whole night. You know what I mean? Sometimes you DJ from 9 to 2, and this is how you can like still just structure the night. Or this is if you're coming in as the 11 o'clock DJ. You know what I'm saying? So that's what your job is. From 11 to 12 is for you to like make the tension in the crowd, like just make it like a bubble. You know what I mean? Like blow the bubble to like the point where it's about to pop. Like make them want to hear all the new hits, but don't give them to them yet. And then 12 o'clock, that's like headlining spot, 12 to 1. As a midnight DJ. Now clubs are starting to do more 12:30. The main headline DJ won't come on until 12:30. But I'm gonna just keep it, just to keep it nice and like blocked from 12 to 1. The headline DJ, it's like that's when you come in and you rip it. You know what I mean? You play all the new hits. You do all those songs that people like to sing out. You know what I mean? Like right now, it'd probably be like WAP. That's like the biggest song right now. Whatever's popping. Like if you're doing Latin, you start playing all the Bad Bunny, all the J Balvin and stuff. You're gonna. This is like the midnight hour is just it's the hour of the night. You know what I mean? That everybody that's celebrating a birthday, somebody might be celebrating their birthday and their birthday's like that night, so they turn 24 at 12. You know what I mean? So like you do that, you do that birthday shout out, or anybody that's there popping bottles like celebrating their birthday, you give them all their shout out. Like, so this is like the most energy. So that to me, you just prepare as much as you can with all the biggest hits. Prepare like at the best drops. You want to mix quick, just the way it goes nowadays. You want to mix kind of quick, give them all the energy you have, all the way until 1 o'clock. I'd say start off with the hits, but just keep coming with them, even if they're a little bit older. Say like Bad and Bougie, Bodak Yellow, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. If it's like a reggaeton night, like I said, Zafaera and all the like El Alfa stuff, I don't know. I mean, you guys can think of the music, right? But just hits. You really don't want like too much of a dip in your set. You can have like a little bit where you're playing, but it still has to be really good music. And if you're only playing for an hour, like it shouldn't be too hard. But you do have to pay attention to what the 11 to 12, what your support DJ is playing, at least for like the last 15 minutes. Now, like I said, a supporting DJ should know to not play all those hits before the headliner. Because think about it, like if a support DJ plays like, let's say like WAP at like 11:45, to me, it's just like you played it way too close to like the midnight hour. So then now the headlining DJ is going to play it again. And it's like, oh, kind of what I would do if that happened, say that support DJ did that, then I would just throw WAP towards the end of my hour. Probably like at 12:45 or 12:50, or even close my set with that or something, So you always have to adjust a little bit. But I think if you have like a knowledgeable and a good supporting DJ that would know that kind of stuff, and they're supposed to set it up perfectly for you to rip it. You know what I mean? They're gonna get like, to me, a support DJ would probably play like Get Low by Lil Jon and like Freak a Leak, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Where those are all party records, but they're not burning all the new stuff. And then the headline DJ would play My Type, Tap In, you know what I mean? Because that's the new stuff. Okay. After headliner rips it. 1 to 2 is the closing DJ. So now the thing with the closing DJ is that you have to kind of consider that your set, in a sense, is only about 30 to 45 minutes. Because by 1:30, 1:45,
everything's getting ready to shut down.
Yeah, everything's getting ready to shut down. By this time, people are pretty drunk. You know what I mean? But once you get to like 1:20, that's when you kind of start seeing like kind of the shit show start going on. The girls that are too drunk, falling over, people getting in fights, something like that. That's when like that's the hour that most of that stuff happened, because everybody's just gone way past their limit. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a good night and stuff, but that I'm just saying like what to expect. So just expect that your set's going to be a little bit shorter. So now, but it's also pretty fun because of the same reason that our people are usually so lit that you can play like either throwbacks or just fun stuff that you like, and they'll vibe with it. Personally, I like to end like my last 10-15 minutes with like R&B, um depending, like I said, depending on the club, depending on the night, but I like to do old school stuff because that's classic stuff that everybody likes, or stuff like Ain't No Fun, or All About You, Tupac, stuff like that everybody's gonna sing, everybody's drunk and they know they love that song, or like Just a Friend by Bismarcky, Biggie Smalls, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I would usually start doing that like maybe like at 125 to like 140. By 140, 150, you just start playing like records, and you just like let them play, because you usually the owner or the bouncers or whoever, the manager, is going to want you to like just really tone it down, and like and kind of start making people realize, okay, we got to go home, so the music's just dying down, and that makes them want to leave. So, but with between 1 and 120, there you have that time period to kind of rip it yourself. You know what I mean? You just pay attention to what the headliner's playing and what they ended with, and then you just come in and you just sweep the night, end it good. We're all happy. You all go home. You get paid. You're good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's for the most part the most efficient structure and stuff. I think it's good to follow it. I think it's like respectful too, like with other DJs. I think when you lay the night out like that, everybody kind of shines. If you're the one doing it the whole night, doing 9 to 2, it's cool because in a sense you just build yourself up, and you know how you're gonna play from 11 to 12, and you know how you're gonna play from 12 to 1, and then and then you're gonna be able to close it. But when you're working with others, it's just like to me, if I'm playing at 12, or if I'm playing at 11, or if I'm playing at 1, I try to make sure to always show up like at least an hour early
to get a hint of what they're playing.
Yeah, like I'll probably get there an hour early, and then I'll go in the club, get situated, probably by like 11:30, and then from like 11:30 to 12, I'll like be paying attention to what the other DJ's playing, but maybe I'll be like getting drinks or something. But then from 11:45 to 11:50, that's when I start really paying attention, like to what the guy before me is playing. By then it's like, okay, I got to start getting ready, let me head up on stage. And then so you're there listening, and then by like 11:55, 11:57, you start, okay, getting ready, get your laptop out, set up your needles. Okay, we're gonna switch, plug in 12 o'clock. All right, let's go. So at least like, okay, let me not hit those records, because I mean you could still play throwback records while you're headlining, however it is that you decide to headline. But as long as you're paying attention to at least about 15 minutes before, then you're not going to sound like too repetitive. You know what I mean? Because if you play it like within like 10-15 minutes after somebody already played the record, it's going to sound like, oh, we already heard that. You know what I mean? If you throw, maybe, like I said, if you throw it at least a little bit later, they'll at least think like, oh, they'll either forget that the other DJ played it, or you know what I mean? It's not going to be just so close together where they can kind of tell. So yeah, just pay attention to that. As far as like preparing for the nights and stuff, or like maybe like dealing with nerves and stuff like that, I think that the best way to deal with being nervous is to prepare. I feel like the more prepared you are, the more in control you can be when you're actually doing what you're doing, and you won't be as anxious, or you won't be as worried that you're not going to do something right. So with preparation, that's just kind of, knowing your music, knowing where your cues are. You could set your set list ready. You can get your set list ready, having a whole set. I think planning sets is great. Just try to not be too repetitive all the time, but having a plan set is amazing, because you know that the records are going to sound good together. Practicing the set, that's all preparation. Making sure that your stuff works with their equipment. You know what I mean? Like always hit up the owner, the manager, or the audio engineer, whoever works there, to check what gear they have. Okay, cool. If it's like something that you have at home, perfect. If not, just kind of do some research and be like, okay, let me make sure that they might have CDJs, but you always have vinyl with you. Like, okay, let me make sure I bring my control discs. Or if they have some weird mixer, let me make sure I download the driver, because all that kind of stuff is just going to make you more nervous for when you get on stage. And then you see that there's something that you're not familiar with, like some kind of gear, and you're like, oh shit, I don't know if it works. And then what would suck even more is if you start plugging in and then it doesn't work. Now you're in a club, it's midnight. You know what I mean? You sometimes with this drivers, or sometimes with this stuff, you need like internet. You know what I mean? So now you're gonna be trying to get internet, trying to download, install. You know what I mean? It's just like a bigger mess. So preparation, I feel, helps with being nervous. Um, what else? I mean, I would say, like, personally, I like to take a shot before, but I'm not endorsing drinking. Just if that helps you, you know what I mean. Um, and just remember that, like, you're there as an entertainer. You're booked as an entertainer. So you're there to make people have fun. And the more fun you have, they're
More
gonna
fun they're
yeah, they're gonna feed off your energy. So come in, be cool with everybody. I mean, present yourself right. The DJ is always seen as the guy with the energy, the guy with he's like the fun time, in a sense, like parties here when the DJ comes. So, you know what I mean? So be cool with the bartenders, be cool with the managers, be cool with the security, because at the end of the day, you want them to be on your side too. You know what I mean? You might have friends that are going to be coming in. You want them to skip the line. You know what I mean? You don't want to come in like an asshole DJ, and then you come and you ask the security guard for a favor, and they're going to be like, "No." You know what I mean? So it's always just good to be cool. And then at the end of the day, you guys are trying to all, like, together put together the best experience for these guests, these I don't know, what do they call them, patrons. You know what I mean? Trying to, like, give them the best experience so that they come back and maybe see you another time. Or if you're the resident, they come back and see you the next night or the next week. And then you gain fans like that, because they like the way you I mean, I personally go to clubs when certain DJs are playing, because I like the way they DJ. I like that they play certain stuff or whatever. So, and if you do that, then you're gonna get hired again, and you get hired again. And that's what it's about. At the end of the day, DJing is a business. So an owner can be really cool with you. You guys can be best friends or whatever. But if he's an owner of a club, he's a businessman.
yeah.
And what he wants is for liquor to be sold and for people to be walking in and out of the door. Well, mainly in, not out. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you, as the DJ, which is a big part in nightlife, you're not holding your end of the stick to, like, make that happen, then you're gonna get replaced, because that's just business. You know what I mean? It'd be stupid if that was the issue. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always the issue. Sometimes it's like, well, hey, their location sucks, or they're not doing any promotion, but you want to do your part. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, I think that's about DJing a night. Um, don't get too drunk. You know what I mean? I think that's just obvious. But you are representing yourself. Mainly as a DJ, you're a self-employed business owner. So it's just you representing you. So you don't want to, like, mess up any kind of opportunities. You don't want to put yourself in a position where, oh, maybe it was because the DJ was drunk or something like that. So, I mean, like I said, have drinks, but that's with anything at any time. Yeah, you guys have any questions? Um, yeah, little by little, as you guys DJ certain spots, you'll be able to tell the crowd too. And then I've noticed that resident DJs at certain clubs will always DJ their club the best, because they just know. They know what their people like. They know what songs make them scream, what songs make them sing, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So Just pay attention to that. That way, okay, here in Pomona, they like ratchet. In OC, they like like old like throwbacks to like American music. You know what I mean? Like in the OC, I feel like you can play like Beach Boys and like people will go crazy. But try doing that in Pomona and you'll get like booed. You know what I mean? So like little by little, you learn the demographic, and I think it's fun because you're like, oh, I'm playing in OC tonight. I gotta play this kind of music or something. You know? Yeah. So that's it for planning a night out or like a night as a DJ, and knowing your roles. Try to stick with them too, so you can respect other DJs, and then that way, a lot of DJs are promoters. A lot of the people that will book you are DJs, and if they know like, oh, this guy knows how to do a supporting set. He's not gonna burn this guy, or this guy knows how to close it. I know that at 1 o'clock he's not gonna suck, and then everybody's gonna want to leave at 1 when they should want them to leave by 1:45. You know, or I know he's a good headliner. Like when this guy plays, everybody goes crazy, and then like I said, that just comes back. You're gonna keep getting booked again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Dope.